Hello, people. I'm watching a testimony of former witches. Something I love so much because it revealed and it confirmed the word of God. So I'm watching this lady. This lady is talking about how witches penetrate families, couples. Please hear.
Make him even not pay school fees.
The family miserable.
Yes. He's supposed to have the wife on the wife's side. The wife is supposed to be something that the husband doesn't admire.
You hear that? Witchcraft will make the wife
For me, when I
not to be liked by the husband. She was a witch.
Covenant with when I was speaking to my altar.
To her altar,
said,
devilish altar.
I want you to see me as a flower.
So the married man to see her as a flower.
It's the opposite of a flower.
The opposite of a flower.
A weed. I want to be your manager.
You hear that? The witch speak to the altar.
I want you to take care of my kids. So when he goes to the wife, it's the opposite of it.
You hear that?
They don't even know the children's classes. They don't know the children's schools.
Let me stop here and talk a little bit.
But
people, the witch is saying, the lady, the older lady who's talking, very pretty. She's saying that she was in witchcraft, right? And the devil used her to, the type of witchcraft she used is to take married men who have money. Married men who have money. And she said earlier that generally it's married men who have money. The single men generally they don't have money. Well, that's her argument, which is generally true though. Well, there's single guy who can be rich too. But she said that she got witchcraft so she can take married men and they will give her whatever she wants. So she says she have an altar, a devilish altar. They do some witchcraft ceremony, then she have a witchcraft altar, and she'll speak to the altar about the man. Let's say the man's name is John. Well, I don't want a name that is known. Let me say the man's name is Remy. Remy is a French name. She can say, Remy, I want to be your flower. I want to be your manager. I want to be the one you give all your good things to. And all that. So the witch lady will speak to the demonic representation of the altar at her home. And then she will send, let's listen to the rest. So pretty much that's what she's saying. So she'll say, I want the married man to see me as a flower, as a good thing. Meaning the man should see his own wife as a trash, as a negative. So let's continue.
They can even give the money, but because of that spell, they don't even know what the children like. They don't know. They are not involved in their children's lives. Yeah. Wow.
And when let's say a family is involved in witchcraft, when I've involved that family, when I've given that spell to that man, there are some things as a wife you're supposed to be watching out of. Sometimes you may see cockroaches at night at around 3, because
at Penn Foster,
the dark world's hour is 3.
The hour is 3
so
for devilish people.
We are told we are supposed to wake up at 12.
So they advise Christians to wake up at midnight.
If you're married,
to cover the house.
Just wake up at 12
to pray.
You wake up at 12. They advise Christians to do that.
Is doing that when
at 3.
When I'm doing that to your man, when I come to your man at 3, there will be a covering.
There will be a
when
covering.
I'm sending the spirit to your home, they won't penetrate.
You hear that?
They are covering.
Do you hear that? So you pray for your family ahead of 3 a.m. So when the demonic spirit is sent, they will not succeed.
So full of love, he comes back with a hamburger, chicken pizza. You know, you don't even see. You just happy.
Please hear.
You think everything is okay.
Yeah.
Please hear.
Wives react. They go and pray when things are bad.
You hear that? Most wives pray only when things are bad. When things are good, they don't pray for the husband.
They don't realize that when the husband is going through that phase, it's not a one day thing. It's a phase which is going, like when I start my spell today will be good to you. But the spell is still working on him.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
You as a wife, you're not praying for him.
You are not
You're
praying for your
comfortable.
husband.
Yeah.
You the wife.
Because the man has paid dowry for you, you know.
Mm.
After
Because
2
you're
months,
the wife,
yeah.
you're carrying his name.
Uh-huh.
You're comfortable.
After 2 months, I'm still advancing.
You hear
So
that?
he will come, you'll see he has slept
So they can
outside one
bewitch your
day, and then
husband. It doesn't come
it's
out
okay,
yet.
he will change.
The witch will keep on
Then after 6
advancing,
months, you see,
pronouncing
like,
curse against
you
your
caught
husband
him with the
until
lady,
it
and
happened.
then he's telling you, I'll change. After 7 months, it's coming, and now it's telling you, I'll marry her. That's the time you feel that the women would go now to.
Did you hear that? She's saying that when they bewitch a man, a married man, the man will cheat on the woman, and then the husband will say, I'm sorry, I will change. And then the witch who are bewitching the husband, they will keep on doing the ceremony. They don't stop. They don't just do one. They keep on sending, the ceremony, the witchcraft thing to work on against the man, right? So the man will say, I'm sorry. And then after, the man will continue. You catch him again and say, well, I'm sorry, I want to marry her. You see that? Meaning, at that time, when the husband first said, I'm sorry, he didn't know his witchcraft was working against him. But they will continue pronouncing the curses against him until the man will just be settled into what he was doing.
Judge, pray.
When
But
it's too late.
through this period to, let's say, 7 months, me as a lady, I've sacrificed.
Please
in
hear
my
this.
altar.
Please hear this part. This is what really make me to
It's
make
okay, he
the
will
video.
change.
He changed.
Then after 6 months, you see, like, you caught him with a lady, and then he's telling you, I'll change. After 7 months, it's coming, and now it's telling you, I'll marry her.
You hear that?
That's the time you feel that the women would go now to church, pray.
And start praying.
When
But
it's too late.
through this period to, let's say, 7 months,
7 months.
me as a lady, I've sacrificed in my altar.
Did you hear
More
that?
than you can
He
sacrifice.
has even eaten the liver.
Please, people hear this. This is really what makes me make the video. The lady is saying that they're bewitching the husband, right? The wife is not praying. That generally wife don't pray for their husband for some reason. They only pray when there are problems. When the husband is living there, they will pray that, oh, let him come back and all that. So she said they will bewitch him first, right? The man will cheat or whatever, will come back and say, I'm sorry and all that. That by the time the man will decide to marry the girl he's cheating with, the wife will wake up and start going to church to pray. Please hear this. Please hear the following. And then she said, the witch lady is saying that by that time it's too late. Why? Because her as a witch, she's sacrificing or putting money on the altar, spending money for her ceremony that are bigger than what Christians give in church. Did you hear that? Hey, she said her sacrifice, she might buy a chicken or a goat, spending money on her altar, her witchcraft things. The money she's spending to this to bewitch this man make her altar to speak more than the Christian altar where we're giving only kobo or we're giving only very small money in church, and sometimes we don't even give our tithe. So her giving a big money for her altar is making it to work for her more than you giving little money in church. Please hear.
Yes. I've even, you see, like the Tanzania one, if I was to go for the second time, I was supposed to slaughter a goat. How much is a goat? Let's say around 15,000.
Yeah.
Let me go back a little bit. This one is so important.
You see, like, you caught him with a lady, and then he's telling you, I'll change. After 7 months, it's coming, and now it's telling you, I'll marry her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time you feel that the women would go now to church, pray.
To pray when
But
it's too late.
through this period to, let's say, 7 months, me as a lady, I've sacrificed in my altar more than you can sacrifice.
He has even eaten the liver.
Yes. I've even, you see, like the Tanzania one, if I was to go for the second time, I was supposed to slaughter a goat. How much is a goat? Let's say around 15,000.
Yeah, around
Maybe you've
50,000,
been
so
told
around
to.
$100.
That is around 30,000. And you as a wife, when you go to church, for those 7 months, if you can look at your, whatever you've given your God,
giving.
the God,
People
your
hear.
altar,
Did you hear that?
the altar which is supposed to stand for you, the altar
Did
which
you hear
is
that?
supposed to
Speak for you.
speak for you. It's even less than 5,000 because
Did you hear
give
that? She's saying her witchcraft ceremony that she be doing on this man, she's giving an example. For 7 months, the money she's giving to her witchcraft practice, her voodoo or devil things, let's say it's estimated to 50,000 in whatever money she is using, African money or something. Okay, but you, the Christian, within that same month, the money you give in church is maybe equal to 5,000. You hear that? So you're supposed to give in church at the altar. The giving, we symbolize it like giving it at the altar on the offering bag. So the altar can represent you and cover you. Have you ever heard teaching on that? I have teaching on that before. So, but the amount you are giving in church is much less, or is lesser than the amount this lady is giving in witchcraft. Number one, you were not awake when the bewitchment is happening to your husband. You wake up too late when the husband says you want to leave you and marry the lady now. Before you wake up late. And in her comparison of dedication to her altar compared to you dedicating to your Christian altar, there is a big difference. She outdoes you, or she outdid you, meaning she did more than you doing. So naturally, her thing work and yours will not work. Hey, did you hear that? People, I know we are very cheap in church giving. But do you know giving in church represents a big element in our worship? God said bring the tithe and the offering and all that. We suppose, your giving is similar to your behavior, the way you stop fornicating, the way you live holy. Your giving is part of your worship to God. Do you know that? In the Old Testament, the Bible will say, don't go see the man of God empty-handed. You hear that? When you're going to see the man of God, you have to bring something to the man of God. That's why you see in the Old Testament, the people will go to the man of God and bring something to him. Because it's an offering that goes on your spiritual altar to cover you. I don't know, because we are so against money now that we hear any sermon that goes about giving. We don't want to hear that. But there's a spiritual reality about giving in church. Let's play this a little bit. I'm not even sure
They give
if you...
They give change. Yeah.
50 shillings, which is like...
You see, people give little money in church.
It stretches itself.
Uh-huh.
So that's how.
Okay, wow.
It's so bad that there's petrol station.
Please hear this.
The petrol station attendant when he's
a gas station.
When he receives the money for people who are buying petrol for their vehicles.
Uh-huh.
He says "Staki pesos a kanisa," meaning that he doesn't want the church money. He doesn't, because it's coins.
Somebody's selling a gas. You know that church people give only coins,
power of the
not a
altar.
big money.
Yeah.
And they don't value.
So this gas station guy say he doesn't want church money.
They don't value spiritual laws like that. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of darkness, they value spiritual laws.
You hear that?
I noticed something that is deeper than just giving, because anybody can give according to how they
Okay, let me stop you here. People, if you don't give your tithe, man, you are... do you know you can go to hell for not giving tithe? Do you know that? I had a preacher who say, if you don't go give tithe, you can go to heaven. It's just that you won't be blessed on this earth. I don't know about that. Because it's a commandment of God. It's a commandment. It's not... God didn't say if you want, you can give tithe. So any commandment, if you don't obey, you will not go to heaven. I don't want to get much into that, because the behavior matters, but your giving matters too. Because do you love money more than you love God? God said give tithe. You will not give... Everybody know that the way you show how you value something is how you spend money on it. Your wife or your whoever, whatever we like, we spend money on it. Whatever we like to do, we spend money for it. So if you don't give money become like something precious for everybody. So the way you give to God will show your commitment to God. But people, what I want to bring out of this is the altar a portion of it. That you, a Christian, you give, let's say in 7 months, you give $5,000 or whatever. But the witch bewitching your husband, you, the lady who married that man, the witch outside is bewitching your husband, has spent $50,000 on the material, either goat or animal or some witchcraft ceremony on that man. And she's saying that Number one, the wife don't pray for the husband often. I will imagine a husband don't pray for the wife either, generally. And the moment they want to separate or divorce, that's when they wake up. But at that time, the Christians don't generally succeed because they wake up late, number one. And number two, they alter the spiritual element that should represent them. They don't give much to it. That's what she's saying. That's her testimony now. Me, I found a very valid information into it. I hope it bless you.